Welcome to Show Up and Glow. My name's Jalen. This is my cozy corner, a space created just for you to tune in and chill out. If this interests you, I invite you to find some headphones, a quiet space, and join me for a calming and comforting experience. If this is not for you, that is okay. I appreciate you stopping by. As you notice yourself enjoying your stay, please make sure to like and subscribe for more of this calm and cozy vibe. Now let's get started. We have a thunderstorm happening today as I film. So, should there be any loud booms or a jump in the sound, I will make sure to adjust that on my end, the audio. I do kind of hope though we hear a little rumble to really set the mood outside my window. And you know what? If the heavens want to open up and start raining as well, that could be a really nice touch to chapter 3 of Winnie the Pooh. So find something cozy. That's what we're all about here. And get ready for chapter 3 in Winnie the Pooh. I have on one of my coziest robes. Sometimes just like, not just like, but the fabric of something is so powerful to calm the mind and calm the body. I really encourage you to find a couple pieces. I find these everywhere. You can find them very affordably, just so you have around that you can throw on to just kind of feel cozy any time of year. I just noticed there's a Winnie the Pooh on the bind. It's precious. And I just noticed that Christopher Robin is pointing a toy gun at Winnie the Pooh, and he has his hands up. Like he's surrendering. And yet the little cork has popped out, so even with Winnie the Pooh's surrender, Christopher Robin still said, "Too bad." What an interesting cover to a book. Last chapter we read about Rabbit and Pooh getting stuck in his house. I wonder what we'll read about today. Ooh. Okay. Chapter 3. Pooh and Piglet go hunting and nearly catch a woozle. The piglet lived in a very grand house in the middle of a beech tree, and the beech tree was in the middle of the forest, and the piglet lived in the middle of the house. Next to his house was a piece of broken board which had "Trespassers W" on it. When Christopher Robin asked the piglet what it meant, he said it was his grandfather's name and had been in the family for a long time. Christopher Robin said you couldn't be called Trespassers W. And Piglet said yes, you could, because his grandfather was, and it was short for Trespassers Will, which was short for Trespassers William. And his grandfather had 2 names in case he lost one. Trespassers after an uncle, and William after Trespassers. "I've got 2 names," said Christopher Robin carelessly. "Well, there you are, that proves it," said Piglet. One fine winter's day, when Piglet was brushing away the snow in front of his house, he happened to look up, and there was Winnie the Pooh. Pooh was walking round and round in a circle, thinking something else, and when Piglet called to him, he just went on walking. "Hello," said Piglet. "What are you doing?" "Hunting," said Pooh. "Hunting what?" "Tracking something," said Winnie the Pooh, very mysteriously. "Tracking what?" said Piglet, coming closer. "That's just what I ask myself. I ask myself, what?" "What do you think you'll answer?" "I shall have to wait until I catch up with it," said Winnie the Pooh. "Now, look there." He pointed to the ground in front of him. "What do you see there?" "Tracks," said Piglet. "Paw marks." He gave a little squeak of excitement. "Oh, Pooh, do you think it's a woozle?" "It may be," said Pooh. "Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. You can never tell with paw marks." With these few words, he went on tracking, and Piglet, after watching him for a minute or two, ran after him. Winnie the Pooh had come to a sudden stop and was bending over the tracks in a puzzled sort of way. "What's the matter?" asked Piglet. "It's a very funny thing," said Bear, "but there seem to be two animals now. This, whatever it was, has been joined by another, whatever it is, and the two of them are now proceeding in company. Would you mind coming with me, Piglet, in case they turn out to be hostile animals?" Piglet scratched his ear in a nice sort of way and said that he had nothing to do until Friday and would be delighted to come in case it really was a woozle. "You mean in case it really is two woozles," said Winnie the Pooh. And Piglet said that anyhow he had nothing to do until Friday, so off they went together. There was a small spiny of larch trees just here, and it seemed as if the two woozles, if that is what they were, had been going round the spiny. So round the spiny went Pooh and Piglet after them, Piglet passing the time by telling Pooh what his grandfather Trespasser's W had done to remove stiffness after tracking, and how his grandfather Trespasser's W had suffered in his later years from shortness of breath, and other matters of interest, and Pooh wondering what a great-grandfather was like, and if perhaps this was two grandfathers they were after now, and if so, whether he would be allowed to take one home and keep it, and what Christopher Robin would say. And still the tracks went on in front of them. Suddenly, Winnie the Pooh stopped and pointed excitedly in front of him. "Look!" "What?" said Piglet with a jump. And then, to show that he hadn't been frightened, he jumped up and down once or twice in an exercising sort of way. "The tracks," said Pooh. "A third animal has joined the other two." "Pooh!" cried Piglet. "Do you think it is another woozle?" "No," said Pooh, "because it makes different marks. It is either two woozles and one, as it might be Whizzle, or two, as it might be Whizzles and one, if so it is Woozle. Let us continue to follow them." So they went on, feeling just a little anxious now, in case the three animals in front of them were of hostile intent. And Piglet wished very much that his grandfather T.W. were there instead of elsewhere, and Pooh thought how nice it would be if they met Christopher Robin suddenly but quite accidentally, and only because he liked Christopher Robin so much. And then, all of a sudden, Winnie the Pooh stopped again and licked the tip of his nose in a cooling manner, for he was feeling more hot and anxious than ever in his life before. There were 4 animals in front of them. Do you see, Piglet? Look at their tracks. 3, as it were, woozles, and 1, as it was, Whizzle. Another woozle has joined them. And so it seemed to be. There were the tracks, crossing over each other here, getting muddled up with each other there, but quite plainly, every now and then, the tracks of 4 set of paws. I think, said Piglet, when he had licked the tip of his nose too and found that it brought very little comfort, I think that I have just remembered for something. I have just remembered something that I forgot to do yesterday, and I shan't be able to do tomorrow. So I suppose I really ought to go back and do it now. We'll do it this afternoon, and I'll come with you, said Pooh. It isn't the sort of thing you can do in the afternoon, said Piglet quickly. It is a very particular morning thing that has to be done in the morning, and, if possible, between the hours of... what do you say the time was? About 12, said Winnie the Pooh, looking at the sun. Between, as I was saying, the hours of 12 and 12:05. So really, dear old Pooh, if you'll excuse me, what's that? Pooh looked up in the sky, and then as he heard the whistle again, he looked up into the branches of a big oak tree, and there he saw a friend of his. It's Christopher Robin, he said. Ah, then you'll be all right, said Piglet. You'll be quite safe with him. Goodbye. And he trotted off home as quickly as he could, very glad to be out of all the danger again. Christopher Robin came slowly down his tree. Silly old bear, he said, what were you doing? First you went round the spiny twice by yourself, and then Piglet ran after you, and you went round again together, and then you were just going round a 4th time. Wait a minute, said Winnie the Pooh, holding up his paw. He sat down and thought in the most thoughtful of way he could. Then he fitted his paw into one of the tracks, and then he scratched his nose twice and stood up. Yes, said Winnie the Pooh, I see now. I have been foolish and deluded, he said, and I am a bear of no brain at all. You're the best bear in all the world, said Christopher Robin soothingly. Am I? Said Pooh hopefully, and then he brightened up suddenly. Anyhow, he said, it is nearly luncheon time, so he went home for it. That was a short chapter. That's it. That was a sweet one. I guess I haven't read this version of Winnie the Pooh, so it's like they're introducing all the characters like one by one. So I'm excited to get through the rest of the chapters to see how they all start working together, because next we have Eeyore for the next chapter, and then we'll have Tigger, and I think that's all of them. Oh wait, there's a kangaroo. That's right. How lovely. So, per usual, if you made it this far in our Winnie the Pooh series, please leave me a comment below with some emojis that reference what we read today. Maybe leave me a little pig face emoji, or some foot footprint paw track emojis, or of course Winnie the Pooh and his honey. I love to see if you make it through the whole video, because this is a really sweet series we have right now. Oh, no thunder, no rain. What a tease for this cozy video. I mean, it's just the coziest when you hear that outside. It's that time of year now. More of my videos might start having that. So I'm really happy you're here with me today. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. It was short and sweet, but I hope you feel a little bit more cozier and calmer after being in my cozy corner with me. Until next time, I'll see you again soon.